Actually, it was another result that we didn't quite expect. A convincing performance from Russia, and a bit of flair in it as well. Not not nicking a couple of goals off of set pieces.
No, I mean, it's hard to criticise the Russians now. Obviously, 8 goals in 2 games is a fantastic return. I think they were fortunate playing the Saudis in the first game. Obviously, we see some terrible defending by Saudi Arabia, and that's really lifted the Russian side and given them some real confidence. You know, they're playing with flair as well. They've got a nice interchangeable system with the 4-2-3-1. They're using that fairly well. They've also got the added dimension of Zuba up front, who's a big striker. And like I say, they're scoring goals for fun. So it's now all of a sudden, I think the nation are believing that. Obviously, these now are certainties to get out of the group, but they're now believing there's a chance to go a little bit further. What might hamper them is that obviously Group A play Group B, so they might end up facing Spain or Portugal the next round, which could be tough for them.
You expected, a lot more from Egypt, didn't you, in the match yesterday, because they had the lift with Salah coming back in. They missed his creativity in the first match. But he wasn't really, able to get into the game much. Looked a little rusty as well for you?
Yeah, it took him a while to get going. He got tackled fiercely a couple of times as well, which would have been certainly an element of the Russian game plan, was to stop Salah, like we see against Brazil with Neymar. It was tough for him. It's always hard coming off from like a 4 or 5 week layoff, and obviously the expectation, everybody's believing he's the missing key. But as well as we talk about the confidence for Russia by winning 5-0, you have to think about how much damage losing 5-0 can do to the Saudis, which we might see in the next game as well.
Talk to us about how things changed in the second half, because while there were some chances for Russia to start with in the opening 45 minutes, nothing too clear-cut, but then you had that horrendous, rather bizarre own goal from the Egyptian captain, and the floodgates just opened. Yeah, the first half was quite even. You know, it's a little bit scrappy at times. I don't think we see one clear-cut chance. I don't think there was a shot on target. But then obviously the own goal was one of the worst you'll see. Real poor technique. Ended up coming off his shin. Should have steadied himself really and gone with the side foot. And then all of a sudden the crowd are on the feet. You know, the Russians are at home, if you like. They get behind. They remember winning 5-0. They're now 1-0 up, and all of a sudden, you know, they look really confident, and they really put their foot down to the pedal then. Speak about Denis Cheryshev, because, this is a player who would have started the World Cup thinking he's going to spend a lot of time on the bench because he wasn't part of the starting 11. But then Zagoev gets injured in the first match. He comes on, he gets 2 goals there, he gets another great goal in this game. A fantastic performance from him. Yeah, it was, and he's picking up some fantastic positions. Obviously, he's left-footed. He's playing on the left of a 3. That's not really his natural position. You know, normally you'd probably see him as a number 6, number 8 midfielder, or possibly a number 10. A box-to-box midfielder. But with him being on the left-hand side, the positions that he takes up are really something else.